Coming to you from UBN Studios in Burbank, California. You're listening to the UNSUGARCOATED Podcast with your host, Ollie Alanius.
Hello, how are you? Welcome back to another episode of your favorite social good podcast. This is our season finale episode, ladies and gentlemen. That means we are wrapping up another incredible season of UNSUGARCOATED with Alia. And, I do want to say thank you for the messages. Thank you for the support that we get, not only from our guests, but from the community, our listeners, our audience. I appreciate all the messages. It's always a joy for me to bring these individuals to you. It's something that I feel like as a producer, I'm very fortunate to meet people that have this powerful, whether it's in acting or whether it's in the creative space, whether it's even just advocating, all these different types of people I feel bring so much value. And it is an honor for me to conduct these interviews. So it's always this little kind of mixed emotion when I come to this season finale episode. It's a bit of, okay, we got through that, as well as a bit of, okay, now we're going to take a little bit of break. But the good news is during our break, you can be rest assured that UNSUGARCOATED Media, as well as myself, continue to do things that create positive social impact, both online and in our products and in our communities directly, which, by the way, is definitely taking a hit right now. This morning when I was driving into the studios, I was listening to, we have a lot of here in Los Angeles, a lot of COVID, the vaccination mandate has gone into effect. Now, not talking about whether you want to take the vaccine or not, but recognizing that it is affecting the way that people are, like, for example, the fire departments are not being closed down. If you actually do, hear reports, they'll say the fire departments are not closing one facility. Well, that's true. But that's actually a play on words, because in reality, the ambulatory centers, the ambulances companies, the third parties, the tow truck companies, every day they're shutting down. And the reason why I'm saying this is because you have people still struggling in our society. It's taking a huge hit. There are byproducts of the pandemic that we need to be aware of. The post-traumatic stress from everything that has happened, is happening, and still could potentially happen for very big demographics within our society. And I am speaking of the less fortunate. Those are real things that we should be concerned about and care about. So I just want to say, wherever you are at right now, whatever you're doing, if you're going through something, I do want you to know that people care. And if you're in a position where you are that survivor and you can help, then, I do want to continue to encourage you to continue to care and to please go out into your community, find ways that you can help, find ways that you can volunteer, or even ways that you can, from your own place, benefit a business or a person. For example, it's $0 to support a small business right now. If you go to their page on IG and share it with your community, maybe they're having a sale, maybe they're doing something. How hard is it? That's called social digital currency, to just give some love and share it with your audience. That little act costs you no money, nothing. But yet it could make a huge impact in how that small business survives. So please don't ever think, doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter your financial position truly in life, you always can do something to help someone else. So just a little thing there before I head off for the season for myself, because I do love keeping it unsugar-coated. So with that, you guys, we're going to get into our next guest. I'm very, very excited. Whenever we bring someone here, they have an amazing background. Well, when I first saw this man in particularly, I was completely, of course, happy because I grew up seeing him as an actor. You will definitely recognize him. And, I asked him what was his wisdom. And I'm going to let him tell you. But on top of it, I just knew the minute I met him that this was a remarkable man with such history, such wisdom. And I'm thankful that he has given me his time and effort to have this interview. So without further ado, let me get started. Michael Nouri is an American screen and stage actor. He is best known for his television roles, including Dr. Neil Roberts on The O.C., Phil Gray on Damages, Caleb Cortland on All My Children, Eli David in NCIS, and Bob Schwartz on Yellowstone. He is also known for his starring roles in films Flashdance and The Hidden, and has appeared in several Broadway and off-Broadway plays, including the original production of Victor Victoria. He is a Saturn Award and Daytime Emmy Award nominee. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Michael Nouri.
Yay! Standing ovation!
Yes, standing ovation.
What a great introduction. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, tell us today. I know we couldn't get you in the studio because you're just ripping and running. I love it. I know your birthday is tomorrow. So,
Yes.
I mean, but tell us, where are you speaking to us from today then?
I'm at home.
Oh, nice.
With my
Charlie?
dog Charlie.
There's Charlie.
There's Charlie.
Well, I know you've been traveling back and forth. You were in New York recently. How's that going?
Yes. I went to New York. I've been working on a new Netflix show called The Watcher, which is Ryan Murphy's new show. And it takes place in New York. So I went back to New York for Thanksgiving and to film an episode of The Watcher, which is going to come out, I think, in spring. And I'll be going back in January and February to work on another episode.
Nice.
Of the Watcher. So that's why I'm not with you today, just because I've been just back from New York.
Right. And you absolutely deserve to take a break and rest. And, so thank you. 1980.
And thank you for wearing my favorite jacket.
Yes, of course.
It's my favorite color.
Green for our audio audience, but for our visual, yes. And I wore it just for him because you know what? I love the representation of colors. Like, it's an energy thing for me. It's strategic. It's like when you wear a color, you're not just wearing a color. You're embodying it. And I think green is very good luck. So I love that.
It has a vibration. Green has a vibration. It's a good one.
Yes. So green is officially your favorite color, right?
Yeah, it's officially my favorite color.
I love it. Okay, so in 1983, you had a starring role as Nick Hurley in the romantic drama Flashdance. I'm curious, you had already gotten into TV, and you were definitely on every woman's poster. Were you in every woman's, the posters, were you named one of the most eligible bachelors of that time period? Because you really, you're still handsome, but obviously, like
I was eligible at the time.
You were eligible at the time? I know. Yeah. I think I'm getting I'm blushing because I'm blushing. You have me blushing.
Well, I'm
Michael.
blushing. I'm blushing too.
I mean, because it's 1983, you get this amazing role. Was it a changing thing for you? Did it change your experience as an actor?
Yes, it did. Flashdance, the success of Flashdance had a big impact on my career and on my life, because when you're part of a movie that is as successful as Flashdance was, the studio will send you around the world to promote the film. So I got to meet wonderful people around the world. We went to every place in Europe, Japan, and the movie had such an impact on kids, mostly kids, and moms who are now grandmothers. So, it had a wonderful impact. It kind of shrank the world and gave me an opportunity to do my favorite thing, which is meeting people and having the opportunity to talk about what really matters to me in life, which is meditation is one of the things that is most meaningful to me, because it has helped me survive and to find peace of mind. And I've been practicing meditation for over 50 years now. So the opportunity to talk to people as human beings and talk about mental health, because as a celebrity and with high visibility, it creates a fantasy for people in the audience that famous people are in some way immune to the problems and challenges that affect everybody, and that's not true. Right. We are as vulnerable as anybody else, and I really appreciate the opportunity to discuss and express the common ground that we all stand on.
Right. I can appreciate that, especially because one of the things I was going to bring up as part of the conversation is definitely how celebrities seem to be very targeted. You know, I know it was different. You didn't have social media for us back in several years ago, only until recently more. But the way that a lot of, not only do people tend to think that celebrities don't struggle or don't have issues, they'll also pick and tear apart. It's almost like they look for flaws. And I'm just imagining that type of pressure in general can even add more to an already difficult situation. One of the things I think I was struggling to articulate earlier a moment ago, pardon me, was that, you know, was it a challenge because you're this young man, you get this highly visible role, everyone is, you know, romanticizing you. You know, did that ever make you uncomfortable a bit? Like that must have carried a lot. And that's why I was definitely struggling articulating that, but truly that is what I meant. Like at a time in your life when, you know, did that have any mental affect on you?
Yes. Of course, being the object of projection is not comfortable because it's not real. I much prefer having a connection with people that is based on reality. Don't get me wrong, I love being acknowledged and appreciated for doing good work. That means a lot to me. But in terms of having stuff projected on me, that's a currency that doesn't really belong in my bank account.
Right. So, you know, kind of stepping back a bit, you know, when did you realize you were an actor? I say this, like, was it something you always exhibited signs of? And, you know, did it take place later on?
I think I realized at first that I was an actor, or that I wanted to be an actor, when I was in high school doing a musical production of Gilbert and Sullivan's Trial by Jury, an operetta. It gave me an opportunity to sing and to make people laugh. I was 13 at the time, and I had the thought, I said, wow, if I could make a living doing this, that would be great. But I didn't give it much serious thought because I was being groomed to move into my dad's business, which was life insurance.
I bet you he did not like hearing the actor.
Thankfully, that didn't last. That was not a pursuit of mine. So I started acting professionally when I think I was 20, in a movie called Goodbye Columbus. And I had a very small part in that movie. And I was so nervous that my voice broke when I had my one and only line to Ally McGraw. And I struggled until I got through. I got through the scene. So that was my very first professional job, was in a movie which turned out to be one of Paramount Pictures' most popular movies in 1969, 68 or 69.
See, I'm only going to bring this up because I have a little bit of my own. Like, I'm 46. I look at pictures of myself when I'm 20, and I'm like, wow, I didn't realize I was younger. Like, we age, we're growing older, and that's a part that we can't deny. And I mean this, like, you know, when I met you, yes, you being an actor and knowing you for those roles was, you know, something I recognized. But when you spoke and the way that you spoke about people and your demeanor and, like you say, the energy, you know, I see where that meditation has helped you over your lifetime, it seems. Is that one of the, because you have a very a demeanor that's both welcoming and very kind, and, you know, so I guess, I shouldn't say I guess. The question is, you know, when you see another person who wants to get into acting, you know, is that would that be a suggestion to any, or even creatives in general? Is that like something you suggest highly to really create a mindset that enables you to traverse all the different things that come with that industry and field?
Well, I would recommend meditation to anybody, regardless of their profession. Only good can come from inner knowledge and knowledge of self, regardless of what we do. Trying to think, the word centrifugal comes to me. Living in the world can be so centrifugal. It spins us outward from the moment we get up to the time we come home. It's like being in a centrifuge that is spinning us outward, 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 calling our attention outwardly. And in the pursuit of things, or with the promise of things that are going to satisfy us, that are going to make us happy. And the bottom line to everything that we pursue is that it's going to make us happy, that it's going to give us contentment, that it's going to fulfill us. And of course, it's obvious to anyone who has lived a few years on the planet that everything, however wonderful it may be on the outside, in the physical world, has a beginning, has a middle, and it has an end.
Right.
And so there is that sense of disappointment, or there's a sense of apprehension that this experience is going to end. My experience vis-a-vis meditation is that there is an internal experience that does not end. And that is what I focus my attention on. And that is the act of meditation, is focusing my attention on the energy that sustains life.
Yes.
And that gives me peace of mind. I totally forgot what your question is. I'm sorry.
It's not your fault, because I know it's kind of like, but you spoke really graciously to, in general, just even going kind of back to the aging of like looking back in life, and I love that you bring the illustration. On top of that, though, the energy cannot be destroyed. It can, right? And I love that you say that, because it's true. And in that sense, you know, we're ageless. Our energy, this energy, I often feel like a kid. It's not about the age. It's like inside there's so much more that's going on. So, but I agree with you, focusing on the energy. Meditation brings about so many benefits for people. And I love, yes, I said that intentionally. I knew you were going to say recommend for everybody, because yes, it is for everyone. One of our actually previous episodes was also on meditation and spirituality and the awakening that comes with that. So for you and in your journey, what has been probably one of the most significant spiritual awakenings that you might remember and that you can share with us?
Well, 50 50 years ago or so, I was introduced to a teacher named Prem Rawat, Premrawat. I was introduced to him by my younger brother and my mother, who were having a wonderful experience meditating on this knowledge that Prem Rawat introduced them to. I was in my 20s at the time. I had experienced enough fame and fortune to be not just curious, but passionately interested in knowing why I was here on the planet. Mm-hmm. I was satisfied in knowing that it was not that no amount of fame or fortune were going to make me happy or give me a sense of fulfillment. So it was this experience. It was a very practical, real experience that I was shown by Prem that was my awakening. And to this day, I don't leave the house without practicing it. If I leave the house without practicing meditation, it's like going to the grocery store on an empty stomach and feeling really hungry. And I end up coming home with bags full of
things you don't need,
of Twinkies and things that aren't good for me, and even eating in the aisles of the grocery store, as opposed to having a shopping list.
Yeah.
And coming home with the things that I really enjoy that are good for me.
I love that. So what, speaking on the pandemic has been very difficult for a lot of people. Yeah. What have you noticed, or what are some of the things that you've noticed, at least community-wise, that maybe, you're seeing more of a struggle? I don't know about you. I've seen more homeless people. I'm seeing more struggle. I don't know how the resources are going to, get there. But, looking around, what are you seeing right now?
I have a wonderful home. It's comfortable. It's not luxurious. By somebody else's standards, it could be luxurious. But it's comfortable, it's safe. And during the pandemic, I felt at times like I was homeless. Mm-hmm. Why? Because I felt disconnected. Mm-hmm. I think that the experience of home is synonymous with feeling connected, with feeling engaged, with feeling part of. And one of the most trying aspects of the pandemic is isolation. It's common knowledge now that that sense of isolation was in and of itself a pandemic.
Yes.
That created a sense of disconnected, feeling homeless. The irony is that we all felt connected and united in that feeling of homelessness. In that feeling of isolation, we all felt connected.
Absolutely.
In a similar way that when 9/11 happened, there was a sense of global unity. But with this pandemic, for me personally, it has been very challenging and uncomfortable, claustrophobic, and unpleasant. It's hard to call, to think of, well, no, I'll stop there. I've said what I want to say about that.
Mm-hmm. I got you. I understand.
Okay.
And I'm not, I think, and thank you, and it has, you're so right. It's been very challenging. And to the point that you said earlier, and, I do want to say, I know you are a philanthropist. You go, over the course of your life, you give back. I know you work with the United Nations and you collaborate to do these, peace talks. So, I know you care about humanity and you care about the people in it. And at the same token, yes, we all just like that isolation. We know that child abuse has gone up, alcoholism has gone up. People in the addiction and recovery space struggled. It's been weird living through history, right? I feel like that. Everyone's like, "Oh, we're living through history." It's definitely feeling like it, because even with when I had first realized we were heading into a pandemic, not that I knew what that meant, but just understanding what it is to be challenged by certain things in life, i.e., cancer or health challenges, that was not unfamiliar to me. But of course, I'm like everyone else, even so I say that to say at the initial onset, it's like, oh, we've got this. We'll get through this. And, but I can't lie. Even at this point, I'm like, I'm over this. I'm over it. We're over COVID. And the reality is, unfortunately, the pandemic's not done with us. It's not over with us. And so navigating this new life, how do you suggest, and how do you navigate this new life right now, I guess?
Well, to take care of myself, my first responsibility is to take care of myself and my family, to trust in the wisdom of those who know more than I do, scientifically. So I have been vaccinated, and I am a fan of science.
I agree.
So there will be people who disagree. There are many people who disagree, but that's a personal thing. And so for me, it's to take care of myself, to take care of my loved ones. And I don't believe in preaching to other people or trying to convert other people.
Agreed.
We all have to follow our heart, and not just our heart, but our intelligence.
Right. Well, I agreed with you. I said, especially on the science. I mean, I'm a fan of science because immunotherapy, when it first came out, it was very experimental, and there's a lot of clinical trials that save people's lives every day. So in that sense, I don't feel that the scientific community is out to get us, at least not the ones creating vaccines or intended to take away infectious diseases and things like that. So I appreciate that. I get that. And people do need to do what's right for them, what's best for them. And it's definitely a unique time right now. I don't like, though, that the narrative is being created of this vax versus anti-vax. I think you're too much of a humanitarian to feel like that. Right. So I kind of want to go into a different conversation, or go into a different part, but still in that thread. You mentioned earlier fame, fortune. I feel like there's been a lot of great people in our history who've recognized fame and fortune and all the money in the world doesn't really, that's not what's going to give you happiness. That's not going to fill your sense of purpose. Even Carnegie and Rockefellers went through the same thing. So do you feel that now as you do all this philanthropy work, what is your goal? What is your objective? And how do you hope to impact the world in that sense?
Well, my goodness, it sounds grandiose to think that I can impact the world. I understand that I am happiest when I am coming from a place of service. It's just a fact. It's a reality for me. I am happiest when I am serving. So I'm not thinking in grandiose terms of the impact that I'm having on the world, but something as I was on the hiking trail yesterday with Charlie, and I was, it's very interesting. Sometimes people will look away, sometimes they'll look at you, sometimes they'll look at you and smile. And I try to be open and acknowledge people who are walking toward me on the hiking trail and just say hi. Some people are hiding, some people are doing their own thing and they're preoccupied. But I just noticed that the simplicity of smiling, just a simple act of smiling at somebody can brighten their day, and then brightens my day. I think that no act of kindness, however small, is meaningless.
Agreed.
And then if I can use my name and my celebrity to make a difference, all the better. That's a gift to me.
Yes.
To be able to help out. I have a family member who has multiple sclerosis and who has been living with it for a couple of decades. The bravest person I know, with such a positive attitude. And she is my teacher. She reminds me on a daily basis of how fortunate I am. And so the MS Society is one organization that I'm very happy to be part of. There's another organization called Seeds of Peace that I'm involved in, which brings kids from opposite sides of the it's Israeli and Palestinian kids, in particular, bringing them together at a camp in Maine. So I'm very privileged to be able to participate in these organizations. Yeah.
That's incredible. I mean, tell me, do you have a significant moment? I mean, have you I know you do a lot of things over the years. Have you ever done boots on the ground work with individuals in some of the places that, to your point, and I said that in my monologue, yeah, the impact, I think it's amazing you use your celebrity and your name, but I know that it's a global impact. I know you have that power. And, then the fact that, yes, we can just create that impact with a smile, those vibrations that go out, right? But is there a significant moment that you think of over the life? I mean, you just shared your family member, but anything else that, you've been working with your community or out boots on ground and had something that really, or even on the TV, because I know I see a lot of things that I can't get to, but I want to. But they very much stand out to me that make me say I have to keep helping, even if it, because it, like you said, it can feel so monumental. There's so much that needs addressing in the world, right? And there's us, but I feel like collectively what we can do together is that's where we get the power. But yeah, I mean, is there a significant moment for you in your philanthropic life where it really stood out, said, wow, this is incredible?
They're all significant. I joined up with Project Angel Food last year and was delivering meals to people who needed food. That was very rewarding to me. being with Palestinian and Israeli kids, at this camp, and seeing face to face what they were dealing with, and seeing this conflict be resolved, seeing these kids put a face on the enemy, their sworn enemies, had a profound effect on me. But then I come back to the importance of daily, however small an act of kindness is. It doesn't have to be a big thing that is in the news, that's newsworthy. I know how much it means to me when I'm feeling down to have somebody give me a smile.
Yeah.
When I'm the one who's in the funk on the hiking trail, and I'm all in my head about what's going on in my life and blah 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 blah, and I'll look up and then somebody will be smiling at me and say hi. What a difference it makes. It just takes me out of my own drama.
Right.
So I can't overstate the value of simple acts of kindness.
Yeah. What are some of the challenges that you feel, and I mean, I guess speaking in general, like to people like yourself, what are the biggest challenges you face right now in your own personal life, I guess?
I think this is where the meditation comes in for me. One of the biggest challenges is in not comparing myself to others. And I think that most of us are victims of this. We fall prey to comparing ourselves to other people, how successful they are. And I just have to challenge it. One of my challenges is being grateful for what I have, being grateful for what I've accomplished, and being hopeful. Mm-hmm. Being hopeful that more good things are coming my way.
You know, I want to ask you, I kind of want to jump in and say, because I don't want this to go away. You know, when I met you, I said, what were some of the words of wisdom that you could share with me? And so, you know, what are those words for our audience?
I don't remember what I said to you.
Yeah. I do.
Glad
Good thing I do, right?
What did I say?
Be on time.
I said be on time.
Which really only then like afterwards was so significant and profound, because then I asked you, you know, along your career and all the amazing things that you have done and will continue to do, by the way, I have no doubt, what was one of your favorite? And so, you know, what is one of your favorite things that you've done so far? And at that time you shared it was being doing Victoria with Julie Andrews. And suddenly when I realized that you'd worked, you know, like more, I didn't know at that time, and I say this like genuinely, I knew you as an actor. I didn't know you as a Broadway actor and a stage actor. So suddenly when the timing part, it hit me like a ton of bricks, because I mean, really, even when you talk about spiritual laws and spirituality and meditation and just the way that Where am I going with this? Shoot, I had timing is everything, right? They say timing is everything. Be in the right space at the right time, and how much more on stage where you do this repeatedly, and not being in the right space on the right time can completely throw off the entire production, right? Is that one of the reasons why timing is so important in theater?
Well, it's critically important to be on time in theater. There's no fooling around about being on time. You've got to be there at half hour. For an 8 o'clock curtain, you've got to be there at least at 7:30.
Right.
I like to get there an hour ahead of time. But yeah, being on time. I might have been being facetious with you, but being on time is a very powerful. It's a very powerful thing to do. It's a demonstration of respect. It's a sign of respect for the people that you're dealing with. It's a demonstration of self-respect.
Agreed.
Because it takes the pressure off.
Right.
I would much rather be waiting for somebody than have them waiting for me. That makes me nuts.
Yes.
If I'm late and I know that people are waiting for me, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Go into making up excuses and there's really no excuse.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm in the car hitting my husband's arm. We're late. Like, he's so Texas. I love it. But no, yeah. I'm with you. No, I mean that. Like, even as a, health challenges, time is everything. Time is my most valuable asset. And so, of course, I want to always have it respected and respect others. So I love that. I know we're going to wrap up soon, and I really do appreciate your time and just coming on. There's a lot of things happening in the world, but I'm glad that we can stop and, take a moment to not only hear your story, but also hear your words of encouragement for people that are dealing with these challenging times and situations right now, and have that hope, because it is hard to have at times. What is your general call to action right now for the world, or at least for the world?
Well, that's a big chunk. Let me just take it down from macro to micro. If I want to change the world, if I want to have any impact on the world, if I want to make any difference at all in the world, that difference is made in the 60 minutes or 30 minutes that I spend with myself before I walk out my door. To be the best me, or to be in touch with the true me, to be connected to the better parts of me, to connect with those parts of me before I go out into the world, is my best way of contributing and being part of the solution and not part of the problem. If I leave my house coming from a place of need and desperation and frustration and anger, I'm part of the problem. If I walk out my door with Charlie, with a sense of gratitude, a feeling of thanks, of gratitude, then I'm part of the solution.
Wow. I love that you said that. Thank you. I don't know if you were done. I'm sorry if I interrupted you, because that was so powerful. We talk about this in the vein of the survivorship of trauma. You have to work on yourself first. This is how we empower ourselves, our communities. You have to do the work. You can't skip that process. And yes, and I think that was so beautifully said. Thank you so much, because it is about starting with ourselves. And I love that you say from a place of gratitude, because how much better will someone operate looking through those lenses, there's a book out there, I think Darren Hardy, The Compound Effect, and he talks about an experiment he did with his wife. He found himself grumbling about his wife, kind of becoming negative. He says, I'm going to do a test, and every single day for 30 days, I'm going to say something positive. Purposefully, my wife is great. She's a great cook. I like the time that we spend together, whatever it was. And he noticed that after 30 days, he started thinking more positively about his wife automatically. But he did the work. So I really appreciate that you said that, because yes, how do we make this world a better place? Sounds like such a big thing. I love how you handled that so eloquently. Yeah, that's perfect. How do people get in touch with you or support you? At least, I know maybe getting in touch with you, you are a bona fide celebrity, so we don't want anyone stalking you. But how do people who want to support you do so?
Oh my goodness. I haven't thought about that. How people can best support me is to support themselves.
Love it.
I would really want to invite people to introduce themselves to Prem Rawat, my meditation teacher, who has added such incredible, extraordinary value to my life. Yes, I would invite people to visit Prem Rawat. They can meet him online. They can YouTube him, Google him. I would also invite people to, if they would like to get involved with the Multiple Sclerosis Society, if they feel so inclined to make a donation there. I would like to invite people to get to know, there's Charlie giving me.
We are getting the best shot. The visual audience, you're missing out on Charlie licking his ear. I'm just over here smiling. He's really going
Charlie's
to town.
giving me kisses. He's giving me kisses.
Hi, Charlie.
Also, seeds of I don't want to overwhelm people. It's a simple question, and my simple answer would be, check out Prem Rawat.
Awesome. I love it. Okay, now really quick before we go, though, I do have five little rapid questions for fun.
Sure.
Little rapid fire questions. Nothing too crazy. But number one, what is your favorite movie genre?
Well, Humphrey Bogart comes to mind. Spencer Tracy, that era of filmmaking.
Okay. Good.
My favorite, the Frank Capra's movies.
Okay, gotcha. I love
Those are my favorite movies.
I love it. Okay, cannonball into the pool or dip a toe first?
Tip my toe.
Were you ever once upon a time the cannonball?
Yes.
I think I was too. Okay, and I specifically picked this question in lieu of Charlie. If your pet could talk, if Charlie could talk, what would he say about you?
I couldn't ask for a more loving companion. I feel so blessed to be your fur baby.
I love that. I love it. A night out or a night in?
Night in.
Okay, and last one. Your first celebrity crush?
Paul Newman.
Paul Newman was your first celebrity crush? Okay, there we go. All right.
I think so, because I was doing a play on Broadway, and he came backstage, and I really had a man crush on him.
I mean, I get that. He was the man. Legendary. All right. Well, thank you so much. I love. You
want a female celebrity?
No,
crush?
actually, I love that you did that, because it is so true. There's different ways of. I'd love that you said that, because that was true. That was what came to your mind. That's got to be it. But I get it, and I love that you kind of threw, because, yeah, exactly. And plus, he was pretty freaking fine. So anyways, okay. I've got to give you that. All right. Well, with that, we got to get out of here. But you know what? Thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate your time and effort. You are tremendous. I hope you have an amazing birthday. And I hope to see you soon.
I look forward to it. And thank you for today. It's been wonderful connecting with you and talking to you.
Thank you. We'll talk to you again soon. And to everybody at home, I hope you have enjoyed that. I cannot wait to share this episode. I feel like it's such a powerful piece. Be sure to support Unsugarcoated Media. Go to unsugarcoatedmedia.com. You can subscribe. You can donate. You can buy some sweatshirts. All your money goes to supporting our efforts to create social impact through storytelling. We will see you next season. Do not forget about us. Don't forget to share, comment, subscribe, all that amazing stuff. Stay in touch with me on IG, unsugarcoated_. Excuse me, I do know my IG. It's Alia_unsugarcoated. We'll see you next time. In the meantime, thank you so much for letting us be unsugarcoated. Take care.
What are you still doing here? Come back next week.